Hello everyone, myself Dr. Saurav Das, and today's topic is basic life support in adult and in pediatric cases. And for today's topic, my moderator is Dr. Tushar Sir, Professor, Department of Anesthesia. What are the things that we are going to cover during this lecture is a basic idea about what do you mean by basic life support, chain of survival, what comprises of high quality cardiopulmonary resuscitation, and what are the steps that we follow for basic life support in adults and in pediatric cardiac arrest cases. First is definition. Basic life support is a level of care used in patient with cardiac arrest due to any life-threatening or any illness or injury till the patient gets the benefit of full medical care. So first thing that comes in our mind is who can do this procedure. The answer is very simple. It can be done by anyone who knows or who has done or who has taken any kind of training for ACLS or BLS. So it can be any lay person. Anyone can do this rescue maneuver. What do you mean by adult chain of survival? Adult chain of survival in hospital cardiac arrest condition, there what steps that we follow is early recognition and prevention of the cardiac arrest condition, activation of the emergency response, start with high quality CPR, use defibrillation, post cardiac arrest care, and for recovery. Lastly, and the new steps that have been added. And in out of hospital, early recognition with high quality CPR and use of defibrillation, transportation of the patient is being added from the scene to the hospital, and after that post cardiac arrest care and recovery. So in adult basic life support, immediate recognition of sudden cardiac arrest is of utmost importance. Activation of emergency response system is the next thing that you are going to do. Immediately after seeing the patient unconscious, unresponsiveness, always ask for help and activate the emergency response team so that they can come earliest and take the patient, and possible treatment can be reserved at the earliest or the golden time. The aim is for the early CPR and the use of rapid defibrillation with an automated external defibrillator. The most important thing is scene safety. So always take the patient or the victim to a safe place. Don't start giving chest compression or CPR in middle of the road or in drowning condition of the patient. Always pull the patient out of the dangerous situation and then give chest compression or the CPR. What the steps that we are going to follow is scene safety, check for response, call for help, check the pulse, and simultaneously scan for the breathing. If no pulse is felt and no spontaneous breathing, then you will have to start with chest compression. And while doing that, always patent airway by head tilt and chin lift maneuver. If at all required, give rescue breaths, and early defibrillation with an AED according to the availability to be used. The algorithm for adult basic life support is as follows. First, verify the scene safety. Second, check for the responsiveness of the victim. Shout for nearby help. Activate the emergency response system via mobile or ask someone to do so. Get an AED and emergency equipment, or you can send someone to do so. Then look for breathing. If the patient is gasping, check for the pulse simultaneously. If pulse is felt Don't take more than 10 seconds for feeling the pulse. If normal breathing is there and pulse is felt, monitor until the emergency responder arrives. If no normal breathing is there and only pulse is felt, provide rescue breaths. 1 breath for every 6 seconds or 10 breaths per minute. Check pulse for every 2 minutes. If no pulse is felt, start giving CPR. If possible opioid overdose is there, you can administer naloxone if available as per the protocol. If no breathing and only gasping and no pulse is felt, then you will have to start with CPR. And by this time, in all the scenarios, emergency response system or backup is to be activated, and AED and emergency equipments are to be retrieved or someone is retrieving them. Is in the above mentioned condition, start giving CPR, perform the cycle of 30 compression and 2 breaths. If AED is available, use it, check for the rhythm. If the rhythm is shockable, then give the shock for 1 minute. Resume the CPR immediately for 2 minutes until prompted by AED to allow rhythm check. Continue until ALS provider takes over or victim shows sign of awakening or he or she himself starts to move. If AED checks the rhythm and the shock is non-shockable, then you will have to continue the CPR for 2 minutes and again check the rhythm, or continue it until ALS provider takes over or victim starts to move. Two things that you will have to keep in mind is take no more than 10 seconds to check for a pulse, and secondly, the lay rescuer should not check for the pulse. So, how to start this maneuver? It's very easy. CPR as easy as CAB, where C stands for compression, A stands for airway, and B stands for breathing. For compression, push hard and push fast on the center of victim's chest. And for airway, tilt the victim's head and back and lift the chin to open the airway. And for B, breathing, give mouth to mouth rescue breaths. For chest compression in adult, compress the chest at a rate of 100 compression per minute, and you should always take this thing in mind that the rate should not be more than 120. And secondly, adequate depth is a must. So compression depth of at least 2 inches, that is 5 centimeter, and it should not be more than 2.4 inches, that is 6 centimeter. So push hard and push fast on the center of the victim chest. What that is meant while giving chest compression. And the rate should not be more than 120 and minimum of 100, and depth should not be less than 5 centimeter or more than 6 centimeter. And the technique of giving chest compression is by placing the heel of one hand on the center of victim's lower half of the sternum and place the heel of the other hand on the top of the first so that the hands overlaps and interlock, and both the arms should remain parallel, just like this. This should be the position of the rescuer. Chest compression showing the proper position of the rescuer with shoulder over the victim's sternum and elbow lock where the hip is acting like a fulcrum, and the depth should not be less than 2 inches or more than 2.5 inches, and in centimeter it should range within 5 to 6 centimeter. To provide an effective chest compression, push hard and pushed fast. The rate just mentioned in earlier slides of 100 to 120 beats per minute and depth of 5 to 6 centimeter. Allow the complete chest recoil after each compression so that survival of vital organ function, which is dependent on effective blood flow containing oxygen, to be maintained. So there won't be any compromise over the perfusion to all the vital organs. So always keep these things in mind, that the rate should be 100 to 120 beats per minute. The depth should not be more than 6 centimeter and not be less than 5 centimeter, and complete recoiling of the chest to be allowed. With 2 or more rescuers, switch over chest compressor in every 2 minutes and 5 cycles of CPR. And every effort should be made to accomplish this switch in 5 seconds. Minimize the interruption. For airway, a healthcare provider should use head tilt and chin lift maneuver to open the airway of a victim with no evidence or neck trauma. And while combining both the chest compression with rescue breath, head tilt by keeping the ulnar side of your palm on the forehead, extending the neck, use the thumb and index. Keep ulnar side of your palm on the forehead, extending the neck. Use your thumb and index finger to pinch the nostril. Chin lift, use 2 fingers of the other hand to keep the mouth open. And after 30 compression, rescue breath is given in head tilt and chin lift position. So in adult, you will have to keep this thing in mind. With 30 compression, 2 breaths are to be given. And in cases where you are suspecting a cervical spine injury, don't give any kind of head extension that will further damage the condition of victim. So for opening the airway, just give a jaw thrust. Nothing more than that needs to be done. Next is breathing. For breathing, there are multiple ways. First is mouth to mouth you can give, or you can use a pocket mask ventilation or bag mask ventilation, and in hospital setups you can get advanced airway that also you can use while the resuscitation maneuver. For mouth to mouth breathing, you will have to hold the victim airway open with a head tilt and chin lift maneuver. Pinch the nose close with your thumb and index finger. Take a regular breath and seal your lips around victim's mouth and airtight seal. This airtight seal is important because if your seal is not adequate, then proper ventilation won't happen. So seal is important for delivery of proper breaths. Deliver each rescue breath over 1 second and give sufficient tidal volume. How you can know sufficient tidal volume is being delivered for the victim? You will get a visible chest rise. That will give you an idea that a sufficient tidal volume is being delivered. The ratio for chest compression and ventilation for adult is 30:2. This is pocket mask. In figure A, pocket mask seal is being made, and in C, ventilation is being done. In diagram C, figure C, where you can see the rescuer is given mouth ventilation or with the use of pocket mask in the simulator. And in back mask ventilation, room air and oxygen can be used. Ensure open airway and tight seal is being made between the face and the mask. And for delivery of sufficient volume to produce visible chest rise is to be seen. This is an automated external defibrillator, in short it's known as AED, where you will get two pads and it delivers shock after checking the rhythm that we have discussed earlier, the shockable rhythms, ventricular fibrillation and ventricular tachycardia, and non-shockable rhythms like pulseless electrical activity or in asystole. This is the defibrillator that we use for giving the shock. Why it is important to use an automated external defibrillator? The reason is ventricular fibrillation is a common and treatable initial rhythm in adults with witnessed cardiac arrest, and survival rate is highest when CPR and defibrillation is given within 3 to 5 minutes of the collapse. This is an AED with two pads. There are figures that are shown over the pads to where to place the pads. One pad is placed below the right clavicle and the other pad is placed in the left infra-axillary region. This is the figure showing the placement of the pads. One just below the right clavicle and other in the left infra-axillary region. This is the shockable rhythm. Next is ventricular tachycardia. These two are the shockable rhythms that AED going to check, and it will allow to give shock. And what are the non-shockable rhythms? The non-shockable rhythms are pulseless electrical activity and asystole. What comprises of high quality cardiopulmonary resuscitation? Start compression with earliest within 10 seconds and minimize the interruption. Push hard and push fast, that we have earlier discussed that the rate should be 100 to 120 beats per minute, and the depth should be of 2 to 2.4 inches, that is not less than 5 centimeter and not more than 6 centimeter. Thirdly, allowing the chest to recoil properly so that proper perfusion to one vital organ is being maintained. Minimize the interruption and give effective breaths so that a visible chest rise is being seen, which will tell us an adequate tidal volume is being delivered to the, and you will have to avoid excessive ventilation. How long to continue the CPR? Qualified help team arrives and takes over the situation. Till that time you will have to continue it, or else the victim starts to show the sign of regaining consciousness. So signs like coughing, eye opening, speaking, or any kind of purposeful movement, or else there is written or spontaneous breathing normally. At that time you can stop, or else if you yourself becomes exhausted. BLS, termination of resuscitation. In arrest not witnessed by emergency medical service personnel, no return of spontaneous circulation before the transportation, no AED shock was delivered before the transport. If all the criteria are present, then you can consider the termination of resuscitation. If any criteria are missing, then you will have to continue the resuscitation and transport. This is the algorithm of the basic life support for healthcare provider that we have discussed few slides earlier. Next come is adult choking. This you can come across in many a times where a person you can see choke with any kind of object or food that is causing airway compromises. This won't allow the person or the victim to speak or make any kind of sound. Most of the time what we have seen, they do this universal sign of choking. So at that time you will have to ask the patient whether are you choking. If he not yes, then you will have to assure him that you are going to help him. In figure 2, the rescuer went behind the patient and placed his arm over him, the abdomen. He is trying to give thrust slightly above the belly button until the object is forced out, or the person can breathe and make sound. And in condition where the patient will stop responding or become unconscious, then immediately you will have to ask for help. Check for breathing. Give 30 sets of compression and rescue breaths of 2, that is the ratio 30:2. Then check the mouth for any kind of objects. After each set of compression, remove the object if it is seen. Don't do any kind of blind finger swipes. Call for help, activate the emergency system and continue with your CPR till the emergency response team takes over the situation or the patient object is being removed and he regains consciousness with spontaneous breathing. What are the COVID updates? Two things that you are going to keep in mind is properly don the personal protective equipment before entering the scene. Limit the number of personnel inside the resuscitation room. For minimize the aerosol spread, prioritize the oxygenation and ventilation with using of HEPA filter for all kind of ventilation. Intubate early with a cuff tube. Connect to a mechanical ventilator if available, and if intubation is delayed, you can use a supraglottic airway devices. Consider resuscitation appropriateness. Address the goal of care in anticipation of the potential need of increased level of care. The algorithm for basic life support for healthcare provider in adult cardiac patient who are being suspected or confirmed case of COVID-19 is as follows. First of all, verify the scene safety first. Don the PPE kit. Limit the personnel. Less number of rescuers should be present to minimize the contact. If victim is unresponsive, shout for nearby help. Activate the emergency response system via mobile. Get an automated external defibrillator and emergency equipment, or you can send someone to do so. Look for the breathing, check for the pulse simultaneously, and don't take more than 10 seconds to do so. If normal breathing and pulse is there, then just monitor the patient until the emergency responders arrive. If there is no normal breathing but pulse is there, then use a back mask device for the ventilation. For that, use a filter and a tight seal, and one breath to be given in every 5 to 6 seconds. So roughly 10 to 12 breaths per minute to be maintained. Activate the emergency response system if not already done after 2 minutes. Continue giving the rescue breathing and check for the pulse for every 2 minutes. If no pulse is there, then start with CPR using a CPR box. If possible, opioid overdose is there, administer naloxone. If no breathing or gasping is there, then you will have to start with CPR or 30 chest compression and 2 rescue breaths. By this time, in all kinds of the above mentioned scenarios, emergency response system or backup is to be activated and AED and emergency equipments are to be retrieved, or else someone is retrieving them. And after the arrival of the AED, check the rhythm, if it is shockable rhythm or not. If yes, shockable, give one shock. Resume the CPR immediately for about 2 minutes until prompted by AED to allow rhythm check, or continue until ALS provider takes over or the victim starts to move. If it is non-shockable, resume CPR immediately for 2 minutes. Continue until the ALS provider takes over or else the victim starts to show the sign of life by coughing, purposeful movement, or the return of spontaneous circulation and ventilation. In scenarios for pediatric cardiorespiratory arrest, which is mostly seen secondary to hypoxia, acidosis, or inappropriate perfusion, the terminal rhythm will show signs like bradycardia, pulselessness, electrical activity won't be there, asystole. Or in out of hospital, most commonly what we face is hypoxia and hypercapnic with respiratory arrest with preceding to asystolic cardiac arrest. Comparison with adult arrest, ventricular fibrillation in children is more rare than in adult. It is mostly secondary to metabolic anomalies like hypoxia, hypothermia, hypokalemia, hyperkalemia, hypovolemia, tamponade, or any kind of toxic consumption or metabolites, or any thromboembolism or tension pneumothorax. In activation of emergency response team, in children who are less than 8 years old in situation like drowning, trauma, poisoning, single rescuer summons help after 1 minute of the BLS. And if the child is more than 8 years old, in all witnessed kind of sudden collapse or known case of cardiomyopathy, single rescuer should summon help immediately to provide rapid access to an AED, that is automated external defibrillator. The first thing that you are going to keep in mind is scene safety. So don't start giving chest compression or rescue breath in a situation which is more dangerous to both the rescuers and to the patient. So take the patient to a safer place. If the child is drowning, pull her out of the scene, keep her or him in a safe place and start checking the pulse, give or any requirement of chest compression or rescue breath. So above everything, verify the scene first. Then you can ensure the victim safely. You can use a barrier method, and at that time you can look for the clues of what has caused the emergency. Secondly, try to stimulate the child. Establish a responsiveness by using tactile stimulation. Maintain the cervical spine posture. You can shake the arm or tug the hair. And verbally you can stimulate by asking the child's name, or try to wake him or her up by asking, "Are you all right?" This thing you can do for the stimulation of the child. Next thing that you are going to do is shout for the assistant. For single rescuer, shout for help while remaining with the child and continue with CPR. For multiple rescuer, one rescuer should provide the basic life support and other one should go for rescuer activating the emergency system. For maintaining a patent airway or to open the airway, lift the tongue that occludes the airway, which is most commonly seen by head tilt and chin lift maneuver. Checking the airway, look into the mouth to ensure there isn't any kind of foreign object or bodies present. Remove with one gentle finger sweep if at all visible. Never do any kind of blind finger sweep that can further complicate the situation. So always avoid blind finger sweep. Thirdly, check for the breathing. For that you will have to look, listen and feel for maximum up to 10 seconds. If the child is breathing spontaneously and effectively, maintain the airway, summon for help, place in recovery. If there isn't any detectable spontaneous or effective breathing is seen, then you will have to deliver rescue breaths. For delivering rescue breaths, up to 5 breaths to ensure to be effective. Slowly breaths is to be given over 1 to 2 seconds each. Minimize the gastric distension. Optimize the oxygen delivery. Deep rescuer breaths between 2 rescue breaths to be given. And minimize the amount of expired carbon dioxide. As shown in the figure, step 1, look for breathing. In step 2, if no breathing is there, no circulation, place the finger over the xiphisternum and start giving chest compression. Thirdly, you can head tilt and chin lift for a patent airway. Fourthly, you can give 2 rescue breaths. Child, the ratio is, who are infants, the ratio is 5:1, 5 compression to 1 rescue breath. The signs of circulation to be assessed. For that you will have to check the pulse. You can check the brachial pulse also or femoral, carotid pulse you can also see. And sign of life with features like coughing, movement and normal breathing is to be seen. If signs of circulation are found, reassess the breathing, give rescue breaths and reassess. If at all absent or pulse is slow or poor perfusion is there, you will have to deliver external chest compression. Depress 1/3 to 1/2 of the anterior posterior part of the thorax. In adult, we are giving depth of 5 to 6 centimeter. Here in child or in infant, 1/3 to 1/2 of the anterior posterior thorax is to be depressed with maintenance of the rate of 100 beats per minute and the ratio of 5 compression to 1 rescue breaths to be delivered. This is the figure showing CPR in neonates. This is a two-hand technique. The patient, the rescuer is placing with the chest and with both the thumbs he is giving external chest compression in the xiphoid process, that is the lower half of the sternum. Basic steps of CPR for an infant or neonate is: first, position the baby. Keep one hand on infant's forehead to maintain an open airway, because most of the time, because of the difference in the anatomy of the airway, the tongue sticks the mouth and prevents proper ventilation. So you will have to keep that thing in mind. If airway should be patent, use a pad of 2 or 3 fingers of your other hand to give chest compression on center of the chest just below the nipple line. After giving 30 chest compression, give 2 rescue breaths covering the infant's mouth and nose with your own mouth. Activating the emergency system, take the child with you, continue the CPR, give detailed location, phone number, type of accident number, severity, urgency, and confirm a reception of the message. Duration of CPR till return of spontaneous circulation and spontaneous respiration, or till the qualified teams arrive or the rescuer himself gets exhausted. Till that time you will have to continue with this cardiopulmonary resuscitation. That's it. Thank you. These are the references that you can see and check the BLS provider manual, and these are the link I'm sharing with you.